And let's talk about Masters of the Universe. So while Mandalorian Grogu is not getting the greatest reviews, it's getting mixed, saying some people saying that this is probably one of the most boring movies to come out of the Star Wars universe. And then some people saying, yeah, it's action packed, whatever the case is. Masters of the Universe, they finally started releasing the reactions from critics, which I think is a good sign because the movie's supposed to be coming out, I believe, in 2 weeks. Is already getting looked at by critics, which is a good sign because I feel like they have confidence in this film. And now, from what I've been reading, they're saying the movie's surprisingly good because I'm glad to hear this because I was a little nervous. Um, when I had seen like the trailers and stuff, I don't feel like the trailers was selling the movie to me. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be good. But let's get into the tea regarding this article. So by the power of Grayskull, He-Man and the gang have landed on Earth following the world premiere of Masters of the Universe at the TCL Chinese Theater in Los Angeles on Monday evening. Now, while official critics' reviews for Travis Knight's live-action adaptation of the Mattel Media and Toys franchise are embargoed until much closer to Masters' release date of June 5th, Amazon MGM Studios allowed premiere attendees to release brief social media reaction after the screening. Because I think that they're worried about, because look, I've been hearing they said it's not tracking really well in regards of like um what are you talking about pre-sales? It's not tracking. So you do need to leak a little bit of those fan reactions from the critics just to get people realizing like, oh, so maybe this movie is good. Maybe I should go get a ticket. I don't know how much it'll help, but you definitely need to get some buzz going because I've been seeing the teasers and the trailers and everything, and I still kind of been on the fence as a He-Man fan and as somebody I've told y'all many a times. I had all the action figures. I had Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain as a kid and all that stuff. So Masters tells the story of Prince Adam of Eternia, who has a child crash lands on Earth and is separated from his sword of power. Adam is raised on Earth as the pretty average Adam Glenn, but his life changes when he is reunited with his sword. He returns to save the ruined homeland and faces off the evil Skeletor. And I had to search hard and wide for some reviews on Jared Leto's Skeletor, and I found two. So we'll get into that when we go through the critic reactions. But so they said in demand British actor. I always forget they're always British. Nicholas Galitzine as Prince Adam slash Adam Glenn slash He-Man, with Jared Leto playing Skeletor. The all-star cast includes Idris Elba as Man-at-Arms, Camila Mendez as Tila, Alison Brie as Evil Lynn, Morena Baccarin as Sorceress, and Kristen Wiig as Roboto. Dom Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Oh, it's Dom Arigato, Mr. Roboto. Remember that song? But anyway, so it said the cast also okay, we don't need to go through all the damn whoever the rest of the cast is. That's the main cast. So Master of the Universe was a toy line that came out in 1982. And they then we had a movie when it come out in 87 with Dolph Lundgren, but it flopped at the box office. And then I saw they uploaded a scene on Twitter confirming basically that Dolph Lundgren has a cameo in the movie. I kind of wish I would have saved that for the movie instead of trying to put this out there. So, like, for those of you who love the original film, growing up in the 80s, in 87, come see this in theaters because Dolph Lundgren got a scene. It's like some things I wish I would keep, but I guess, we're in the era of people want shit spoiled. So let's get into some of the comments or critics' reviews. According to Courtney Howard, she says, but actually, let's do this as a class. Let's pull it up and let's go through what some of the posts, the critic reactions. Okay, so according to Courtney Howard, she says Master of the Universe, Shaggy Charms worked on me. A colossally epic time has what is GOTG? Is that Game of Thrones? I think that's what she was meaning. Style, self-aware tone, and a radical message at its core. Nicholas Galitzine and Camila Mendez nailed it. At Daniel Pemberton's rock score with assist by Brian May hit so good, stay through the credits. Okay, so when she says that, that's got me thinking that This next story regarding She-Ra makes an appearance. So I'm starting to think that that's the stay through the credits. I think that's what that is. So and we'll get into the Shiva story in a second. So then she also went on to say, Master of the Universe director Travis Knight has a genuine reverence for all the incarnations of the He-Man character, the Masters of the Universe action figures, animated and cinematic iterations. Easter eggs are incorporated with craft and care. I got a little misty at one point. Perry Nemiroff, who I absolutely like. Hold on, I'm gonna have to open hers because it's a long one. She said, bound to be one of the biggest surprises of 2026 for me. I love Masters of the Universe. I'm a huge fan of a lot of folks involved, but it was never really my thing growing up. And I kind of assumed the same would be true now. Also, based on what I do know from the source material, this felt like an immensely challenging film to pull off, but Travis Knight and company did it. I will agree with that because I definitely feel like how do you pull off an IP like Master of the Universe? Master of the Universe is something that is based on a cheesy toy line and a cartoon that was cheesy. But I love it because that was the 80s. 80s was cheesy. It was a cheesy time to be in the cartoons and all this stuff. And I watched back the old He-Man cartoons because if you have Amazon what's it, Prime Video, you can watch the old episodes. I'm like, this shit is so corny, but this is my child. When I be watching anime, I'm like, "Did you not time, He-Man?" That was the Skeletor voice. And I was just like, it was definitely entertaining and stuff, but like when you watch it as an adult, I'm like, what the hell was I was thinking watching the show growing up? But I get it, so it is what it is. So, but yeah, but Travis Knight is somebody who did Bumblebee, which is actually like one of my favorite Transformers films. I mean, I like the first Transformers and Bumblebee. Those like my top two. The rest of it was trash. But he captured the essence of something like with like this giant car who turns into a person. A car turns into an Autobot, I should say. And then that dynamic between him and who was it, Shailene Woodley? And so that between them and just trying to make something that on paper would come across so cheesy and corny work for the big screen. So she went on to say, I was totally swept away by this super vibrant, weird, and gleeful romp. It's downright ridiculous, but ridiculous works when the cast and crew wholly get the kind of movie they're making and are enthusiastic about going all out to bring it to life. And that's what it is. Like at the end of the day, when you do like these cheesy films, when it's like, yeah, it's on paper, it's ridiculous. It's a whole ridiculous concept. But if you have if you already lay out the foundation, this is what it is. You either jumping on and take the ride with us, or you don't. That's how you sell it. And those are the type of movies that I like. So her review on this has got me excited. Now, Peter Gray says Nicholas Galitzine looks the part in Master of the Universe and how, but well, eating and the gym and HR, human growth hormones probably because they do get help. But it's his comedic timing that steals the show. Knowingly cartoonish, packed with 80s vibes, the soundtrack, and Jared Leto camps it up vocally as Skeletor, slightly risque, but mostly family-friendly fun. Well, okay, that's the first Jared Leto review or comment. Now, another person said, Rachel Leichman said, Master of the Universe is a hell of a lot of fun. Nicholas Galitzine brings a sweetness to Adam Glenn and makes his take on He-Man memorable and also a fascinating take on masculinity. Oh, yeah, because, a lot of people had an issue from the first teaser, remember, where they had Adam Glenn and it said on his desk nameplate, he/him. Oh, they're trying to be woke with the him and the he. It's like, shut the fuck up. Y'all always coming up in here with some bullshit in regards to that, with the fake outrage. When it comes down, it's like, look, um, this is what you're getting mad over. So anyway, let me continue. So what was that? Okay, it said fun, 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 and features the Man by the Killers. So I was in. I do like the Killers music. Another person, Kevin Phoenix, said Master of the Universe revives Saturday morning cartoon magic with massive action, silly laughs, and real heart. Eternia looks like Rudy Obrero's box art brought to life in full Technicolor glory. And yes, Master of the Universe is absolutely all about the muscles. Well, that's another plus. So then it goes on and on, but let me scroll down to because there's a lot of these up in here. Let's get to the Jared Leto stuff, because I know a lot of people saying that Jared Leto will hurt the film, and so it says, yeah, Master of the Universe is a movie that knows what it is and leans hard into it, and I couldn't be any happier that they did. A few problems and tired tropes here and there, but this movie is as He-Man as it gets. Inject Daniel Pemberton's score in my veins. Now, I'm really looking forward to hearing the score because they keep talking about this '80s score, and it kind of reminds me of um the movie, what was it, Thor Ragnarok, where they had like the '80s hair metal type of vibe, then or '70s and '80s hair metal vibe. Then I definitely will be looking forward to hearing what the score is going to give. um this is funny. One of the guys said Griffin Schiller, pains me to say it, but Jared Leto is genuinely unrecognizable and very, very good in Masters of the Universe. He and Brie understood the assignment. Skeletor and Evil Lynn steal the whole damn thing. And last but certainly not least, we have this one now, from Griffin Schiller. It's clear that everyone involved in Masters of the Universe has such an unabashed passion for the source material and its impact on their creativity, while at times feeling like a relic from the 2010s IP grab. It finds its strength in proudly embracing the quirky, campy, after-school special isms that endeared its filmmakers to it as children. A nice look at how trying to look cool is actually the least cool thing you can do, and having a deeper connection with who you actually are, finding sensitivity through strength, is rad as hell. However, for a film about the need to stop being a try-hard, I wish it didn't try so hard to win me over. The attempts at humor, especially, and boy, there are many, are painfully trite and unfunny. There's an awkward cadence and sense of insecurity that permeate much of the first two acts, making it hard for me to fully fall in love. That said, Jared Leto's Skeletor is genuinely excellent, a hilarious, pathetic diva who works a scene like Man Ray meets Dr. Evil, the undisputed MVP. For whatever faults the film has, they fucking nailed every moment involving this goof. So he seems like he's not all that enthused by the movie. He said it has its problems. I'm still gonna go see it. But so that's one that was just like, I mean, it still nails the goofy aspect of it, but it's trying too hard to win me over. And I understand why they have to do that, because I feel like with the first He-Man movie being a flop, they have to kind of go there in regards of, you know, trying to get butts and seats and wanting to see this movie, because like we said, it's not tracking well. He-Man, even though it's a risky IP to take on, it's been a long time since we got a reboot of the film, because the last movie was made in '87, so that's damn near 30 years ago. Is it 30 or 40? It's 40 years. I don't know what I'm talking about, because yeah, 2027 will make 40 years. Had to do the math in my head real quick. So yeah, it's almost 40 years since we last seen the original, film. So it's a risky IP to take on, and how do you deal with that? But I never, for once, wavered. I was a little nervous, but because of Travis Knight's um, reputation as a filmmaker, that was the one thing that kept me hopeful that this new He-Man movie is going to be good. So yeah, now speaking of He-Man, let's talk about She-Ra, because remember in the first tweet that we read, which now it's got me definitely excited to want to see this movie. Um, they said stay for the closing, the post credits, whatever the case was. So I don't know if it might be a mid credit or we got to stay to the end. But they said stay for it, so that means we're going to get a surprise, which means this will probably be the same way that they did the other film, which would be Superman, the new Superman movie, where we got a little taste of Supergirl, and then now we're going to get the Supergirl movie this year. This is a way for them to tease She-Ra, which Travis Knight did address in a recent interview. So shout out to Comic Book Movie for this. They said, can we expect to see She-Ra in the upcoming Masters of the Universe reboot? Director Travis Knight gave an intriguing response when asked about the possibility of He-Man's cousin making her live-action debut. Just like we got Superman cousin, and they doing like a reverse situation in regards of him being similar to Kal-El, crash landing on Earth and having to go back to Eternia, except Kal-El can't go back to Krypton because Krypton done blew up. It don't exist. So he's stuck on Earth. So he basically said I can say very little about She-Ra. This is what he told SFX magazine. For me, She-Ra has always been a big part of the Master's world and a big part of Adam's story. In the fullness of time, if we're lucky to tell more stories in the universe, She-Ra will play a huge part. So if Master of the Universe gets a sequel, Princess Adora will likely be involved, but it sounds like she will either be referenced in this movie or was actually going to appear before some changes were made. They said whether or not she plays any part in the movie, I cannot say, but we definitely had many, many conversations about the character. There are giant scenes in the movie that aren't there any longer. I'm very proud of this movie, but there are definitely things that I love that we had to cut. Hopefully, they will get to see the light of day at some point. And so, um, She-Ra debuted in 1985's He-Man and She-Ra: The Secret of the Sword before going on to feature in her own animated spin-off, She-Ra Princess of Power. I do remember because I watched that show as a kid as well. And then it said, and then she had the Netflix series when they revived that in 2020, and fans are continuing to campaign for her revival. So people want She-Ra. Hopefully, we'll get her in the post-credit scene that they're teasing, and hopefully, this movie does well. Where we can actually get a proper sequel or a sequel to Master of the Universe. So hopefully, it can get past that curse and it'll happen. But I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Now hearing the critic reviews, the people who have got an early screening of it and the Shira T. Are you even more excited? Does this have you more excited to want to check this film out, or was this never on your radar in the damn first place? So, whatever your thoughts are on this story, let me know in the comments down below.